And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sterling High School. Sterling Channel 19 proudly presents its softball this time around. Sterling Silver Knights taking on the West Deptford Eagles in a Colonial Conference battle. As always, Rob Strauss, Manny Alamo, as we take a look at the Colonial Liberty standings. A huge game for both teams here. Sterling and West Deptford undefeated in the Colonial Liberty right now at 3-0. And Sterling on top, 8-2 overall. West Deptford still looking for their first loss overall on the season. And you see the bottom half, Overbrook, Haddonfield, and Audubon at 1-2, and Collingswood still looking for their first conference win and win overall. As we take a look at the starting lineups for the West Deptford Eagles, leading off playing shortstop Jess McGivern, center field Kenzie Ponto, at first base Jess Lindquist, in the cleanup position at second base Alexa Anderson, Sierra Gerard at third base, Emily Engels in right field, the designated player Amanda Patch, catching tonight Allison Gallagher, and rounding out the starting nine Kim Alexander in left field. Take a look at the Knights defense. It's going to be Trish Quinn on the mound today for the Lady Knights. Ashley Croge, as always, behind the plate. Marissa Edmonds at first. Hannah Ochenegro at second base. Her sister, Gab Ochenegro, at third. Marissa Nagel back in the lineup for the Lady Knights after an injury. She's playing shortstop. And then your outfield of Whalen, Kriebel, and Kozaneski are the Knights defense. Again, the Group 2 champions back in 2008. And this is about as big a game as you can possibly imagine as this early on in the season for both teams. Should be a great matchup as the officials giving both sets of players, the final instructions, and West Deptford's going to get ready to go. Beautiful day here for a ball game. A little bit breezy as usual here as we say this, Manny, pretty much every single time. This is kind of like a pit here. And we're kind of in a wind tunnel, so to speak.
Yeah, especially last week when I had my wardrobe malfunction with my shorts.
Yeah.
It was like Windy City. So, I mean, today the wind picks up and the wind keeps dropping, but I think today's going to be an all-out interesting game. Looks like they're about to get started.
A little bit warmer this time around.
Yeah, thank God. I'm pretty sure the softball players appreciate that, too.
It was chilly last time. This time we lucked out. About 75 degrees here. Beautiful week this week here at Sterling for all the spring sports. And we take a look at Trish Quinn coming off of a great sophomore campaign, looking to back that up with her junior campaign. 4-1 overall, 2.12 ERA, 17 strikeouts and 9 walks. And we got a chance to see her work over the summer. And she can really mix it up with the fastball and then the off-speed pitch to kind of keep those hitters off balance.
I just find it amazing how such a young age, and she's a sophomore, and how well that Miss Johnson said she improved her pitching skills this season. I just find it interesting how much people can change.
The great thing about this is Sterling actually has 2 or 3 pitchers that they can throw out at any given time. We got a chance to see Angel Benjamin pitch a no-hitter in the last game on Channel 19 as Jess McGivern steps into the box to lead it off here. The lefty's going to step in, 474 average. 1 RBI on the season, and Trish Quinn looking to do work here against McGivern, the shortstop. First pitch on the way, inside, ball 1. Second pitch on the way. In there for a called strike. Looked like almost the exact same pitch.
Looks like she has a lot of force behind that pitch.
You're not kidding. Swung on and hit towards second base. Ochenegro fires over to Edmonds for the easy out. 4-3 on the putout if you're scoring at home. That's going to bring up Kenzie Ponto, the center fielder. With 1 out here in the top of the first, still no score. First pitch low and in the dirt for ball 1. This has huge conference implications for both teams here in the early going. Again, low and in the dirt, ball 2. Again, the wind blowing pretty much the exact same direction, Manny, as it was the last time we were here.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Kind of blowing across the field this time as opposed to at the back of Trish Quinn as Ponto over to third base. And that's Gab Ochenegro over to Marissa Edmonds for the out. 5-3 on the put out. 2 down here in the top of the first. That will bring up Jess Lindquist, the first baseman. And just missed on that first pitch, ball 1. Lindquist coming into the game, a .682 average. And she looks at ball 2. There's something you don't see every day. .682, 22 at bats, 15 hits, 17 RBIs.
Oh, wow. I think, I would say that's the highest batting average. You know, they're usually around 300 to 400.
I'd say so.
All the way to 600s. Ashley's doing an amazing job at catching. It seems like, you know, Trish Quinn and Ashley Crouch has a good understanding of exactly how they're going to throw. And
3-1,
she's good at
swung
reading.
on Lindquist, hits it in the air to left field, retreating on it, not able to make the catch is Whalen. And it's an it's a double, 2-out double here. As Whalen moved in on that ball momentarily and then backtracked. As we're now joined in the booth with Kevin Schulz, made it here with his Propel. He's here.
Ready to go now. Of course, Manny coming through in the clutch, Manny. I made fun of you because you were late last time, didn't I? So
no, we made fun of him because he was wearing shorts and a T-shirt. It was 40 degrees outside.
That too.
Swung on, hit right to the shortstop, Nagel. In her first game back from injury, fires over to first at Edmonds for the out. And that will do it for the top of the first. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Move to the bottom of the first. Still no score.
You can feel that breeze coming over here, and I think that had a lot to do with what happened with that hit to left field.
Yeah.
Kind of got caught up, and if you break a little bit, you know, in most cases you can recover, but with the wind taking it, it makes it that much more difficult. Of course, it was all for naught. They were able to get the last out.
Take a look at the Eagles defense. It's going to be Schlechter on the mound, Gallagher behind the plate, Lindquist at first base, Anderson at second, McGivern at shortstop, and Gerard at third. And then the outfield from left to right, Alexander Ponto and Engels round out the Eagles defense. As we'll take a look also at the starting lineup for the Silver Knights. Hannah Ochenegro leading off, playing second base, Marissa Edmonds at first base, Emily Oleto, the designated player, Gab Ochenegro batting cleanup at third base, Marissa Nagel back from the injury at shortstop, Ashley Croach behind the plate, and your outfield, Kaylee Whalen in left field, Trish Quinn, the pitcher, going to bat 8th, and Elna Kriebel going to bat 9th in center field.
Definitely a big test early on here.
Take a look at Jess McGivern's numbers. Check that. It should be the pitcher's numbers, and we'll take a look at that in a few seconds. So Schlechter is going to pitch. Schlechter, 14 innings pitched, only giving up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 22 strikeouts. She's 3-0 on the season. First pitch is low and in the dirt. Ochenegro waiting for the 1-0 pitch, high and outside, ball 2.
Have to think Coach Town might have Ochenegro taking right here. Schlechter getting down. 2 balls.
Swung on and missed. Healthy cut there by Hannah Ochenegro. 2-1 the count. Schlechter not a tall player by any stretch of the imagination as she fires in ball 3, 3-1 now, but
Schlechter
I'm not one to really judge about height, but she's probably about 5'2", 5'4", maybe.
But you've got a very tall third baseman, second baseman, and first baseman.
Bunt down the first base line, an easy tag for Lindquist. 3 unassisted for the first out of the game. That's going to bring up Marissa Edmonds.
And that's one of those bunts where you just get a little bit too much on it, and it doesn't take much on a hard dirt infield and the ball gets to the fielder, she's able to make the easy put out right there.
Marissa Edmonds batting .625 on this young season. Only about 8 or 9 games in on average for most of these teams. Average is a little high at this point. I don't think she'll be batting .625 at the end of May.
No,
we'd like to see that.
Right, that would be awesome, but just hitting .625 now is great. And it just kind of echoes the fact that this Lady Knights team.
Edmond hits one into right field. It's going to drift foul and out of play.
Guys, this Lady Knights team this year has probably hit the ball as well as any team in recent memory. You know, they had a couple years back where they had a team that hit the ball but primarily had very good pitching, very good defense, and you have that, but again, they probably hit the ball better than a lot of the teams they've had.
2-1 pitch low and inside for ball 3. So 3-1 now to Edmonds. Emily Auletto, the designated player, waits on deck. Nobody on here. One out top. Bottom of the first. Schlechter in a hole here early. On the corner there for a called strike. And now the count is full to Edmonds. Third baseman Gerard playing in. Swung on, fouled off the top of the backstop. The count will hold to 3-2.
And that's one you have to swing at. Of course, the catcher lining up outside, and a good job by Schlechter putting the ball right where the catcher was, right where it needed to be on the outside part of the plate. Of course, Edmonds, being 3-2, had to take a cut at it.
And it's going to be a walk, 1-out walk for Schlechter. That is, according to what we're looking at, only her second walk issued on the season.
Well, real good at bat, found off a pitch, a couple pitches right there, and getting herself on base.
First pitch on the way, high.
Emily Auletto is another one who, you know, she's as a sophomore also, and she has a batting average of, you know, .563. I just think that most of Sterling's talent begins with the young ones.
Swung on, fouled out of play.
Well, she's done a real good job playing herself in the lineup. Of course, her bat has just been outstanding in the early part of the season. Again, only a sophomore, but she's somebody who's really made a great case for getting herself into the starting lineup.
Swung on and missed by Auletto. Marissa Edmonds waits on first base. Thought she was going to take off there for a minute.
And that was a fastball by Schlechter that looked like she put a little bit extra on it.
In there for a called third strike. Strikeout number 23 on the season for Paige Schlechter. For the second out.
Looks like it goes right down the middle.
Yeah, and what Schlecter's doing a real good job of right there is, again, we saw it before, throwing the ball right where the catcher's lined up on the outside part of the plate. A real good.
We're going to have Gab Ochenegro in the cleanup spot, the third baseman. 0-1 count. Pitch on the way from Schlechter. In there for a called strike, now ahead of Sterling, arguably Sterling's best hitter in Gabby Ochenegro.
Look at replay.
Working the outside part of the plate, and I'll tell you, that looks, man, we got a little bit of a glare here, but that one definitely looked outside. But hey, if I'm the catcher, I'm getting that call, I'm going to keep lining up out there.
She's getting set up again. I just think that she has the pitcher has such an amazing talent to get him, you know, down the middle pretty much every time.
Well, it's about pitching's probably more about control than anything else. It helps to have a real good fastball, but there's guys with real good fastballs that can't throw strikes and aren't effective pitchers. So the strike is your #1 pitch.
Again, Ochenegro fouling back 3 straight pitches, making Schlechter work here. 2 outs. 1 runner on in Edmonds at first base off the walk. Bottom of the first, still no score. The 0-2. Hit on the ground to third base. That should be an infield single, and it will be for Gab Ochenegro, and she earned every bit of that one, Kevin.
Well, it's a case of getting the bat on the ball, and I know, you know, throughout this season, girls have hit home runs and cleared the bases, and this is a team that really drives the ball a lot, but that was about just getting your bat on the ball, put it in the right spot.
And I think that's what happened when she kept fouling off. She kept trying to taste the ball, you know. She's getting a feel for exactly how to hit and exactly how, you know, the pitcher's pattern.
So 2 on for Sterling's latest 100 hit recipient, Marissa Nagel, back from the injury. Evens count at 1-1. Saw her in the hallway today and said, "You playing today?" And a big smile on her face from ear to ear. She's like, "Yep, I'm playing." So she's definitely excited.
Well, big boost getting her in that lineup. Obviously, a girl who's had a great career here, got her 100th hit only as a junior. Now here for her senior season.
The 1-1 by Nagel popped a mile up in the air, and it's going to go for an out. Nice job by Lindquist to come over right in front of the Sterling dugout and make the catch, and a crisis averted here for West Deptford. In the
make sure the job gets done.
He's got muscles coming out of his ears.
Sierra Gerard going to lead off for the Eagles here in the top of the second, still no score. And she looks at a called strike. The boys, right after this, it's a day-night doubleheader for Mr. K and Mr. Schulz. Heading over to West Deptford tonight. Boys baseball team, a huge game against West Deptford. And it's going to be Brandon Jenkins on the mound for the boys. Swung on, hitting the ground. This shortstop to Nagel, bobbles it momentarily and cannot make the play. E6 as Gerard reaches on the error.
Look at this replay. I think she was so ready to catch it and then must have slipped out her glove.
Well, that's a play Marissa Nagel usually makes, and of course, when you're out for a little bit, that's something where your timing could be off a little bit on plays like that.
Ball gets away from Croge, and that will allow Gerard to move up to second base on the pass ball.
West Deptford, like Sterling, very aggressive on the bases. They're going to take advantage of every opportunity to advance a base.
Bunt to move the runner over to third is successful, so the sac bunt by Engels moves Gerard over to third base. 1 out here in the top of the second.
And that's a nice job. They always say when you're bunting, you're almost kind of catching the ball with the bat. You're not thinking hit because you don't want to hit the ball out too hard and have an easy play by the fielders, and that was a perfect bunt. Kind of let the ball hit the bat, came out in a dead way, and gave her that opportunity to advance the runner.
You're just barely making contact with it just to get it over that foul line.
That brings up Amanda Patch, the designated player for the Eagles in the 7th spot. Ironically enough, wearing number 7. I don't know if they were doing that on purpose or if that just happens to be coincidence.
That's a good pickup by you.
You like that, right?
It was really good.
Gerard on third base. And 2-0 count now to Amanda Patch. Called strike. Gerard on third, reaching on the error by Nagel. Pitch, swung on, hit on the ground. Back to Quinn, she's gonna look the runner back on third. Now Gerard's stuck. And nice play there by Quinn to move the runner back to third base, but yeah. I guess we'll call that a fielder's choice. I don't know how you score that.
That's what you do. You run right at the runner. I'm surprised she didn't throw it once the runner broke back to third, but you want to obviously get her back. Best case scenario is to get the out, but if you don't, you want to get her back to third base.
All right, runners on the corners. 1 out here in the top of the second. West Deptford threatening now with Allison Gallagher at the plate. Chance to give West Deptford the lead. First pitch from Quinn. Outside. Croge going to look back both runners. I don't think you're going to throw down to second in this situation.
No, well, this is where you have that first and third situation, but again, only 1 out right now. Sometimes you might send the runner to force in an effort to get the throw down there.
Amazing job by Ashley Croge trying to keep them back on base.
And that first and third, when you try to have the runner go to second to force the throw. Like I said, with 1 out, I don't know that you're going to do it now, but you might try it if you get a second out. And the situation's the same.
Called strike. 2-1 to Gallagher. Kim Alexander, the 9-hole hitter, waits on deck. The pitch. Bunted right back at Quinn. She's going to go home. She's not going to get Gerard. And West Deptford has the lead. They're going to have runners on the corners. Check that. It's going to be an RBI, fielder's choice for Gallagher as the runners advance to second and third, 1-0 West Deptford.
Yeah, that was one where, it's a bang-bang play. It's tough to read, but probably should have went with the out at first because the runner, and it's tough. When you're looking down at the ball, it's tough to see the type of break that the runner had from third, but that base runner really broke well and got a good jump and going home. And I think even if it was a good throw, I don't know that they would have had her.
Looks like they just got back from mound visit.
West Deptford, being very opportunistic, is going to take advantage of the overthrow and get to second base, and now has second and third with still only one out.
Brings up Kim Alexander, the left fielder, after he fouls one off. 0-1, Alexander on the season. 15 at bats, hitting .400 with a handful of RBIs. Alexander right up the middle. Nagel this time fires over to first for the out. Run scores, so it's an RBI for Alexander. 6-3 on the putout.
And that's again a play where you just, I think at this point you want to get the out. The last thing you want to do is go home and not get anything out of it. And obviously, you'd like to cut down the run in a tight game with two very good pitchers on the mound, but I think Nagel made the right play in that situation.
I mean, to give or take, it's more of a like a instant perspective, oh, I got to do this. There's no second thinking in softball.
No, any hesitation and you're not going to get anything out of it. And even like we said with Quinn, ball comes back to her, you're focusing on the ball. You can't necessarily see the break that the girl had from third.
Yeah, correct. Ashley Croge is doing an amazing job. I think Trish Quinn and Ashley Croge are now trying to enforce, third base, staying where she's at. I think all the girls are on their toes now. They're just ready for anything.
Back to the top of the lineup for Jess McGivern. Grounded out to second, her last plate appearance just one inning ago. Pitch hit on the ground. Right at hand Ochenegro, fires over to first, and the inning is over. Back-to-back groundouts to second for McGivern, but West Deptford gets two on the board.
You're going to go a little bit more with fastballs when on a day where it's not quite as windy, you'd go with more off-speed pitches, but the fastballs are a little bit easier to control on a day like today.
Ashley Croge steps in. Just missed on that. What appeared to be an off-speed pitch there, Schulze.
Yeah, Schlichter really hasn't been going with too much off-speed.
Croge right on the ground at Lindquist. Easy play for her. Just steps on the bag. 3 unassisted for the first out. That's going to bring up Kaylee Whalen, the left fielder. Kaylee Whalen, injured in the basketball season, broke her nose in the basketball season, now back on the softball field.
That was Maddie Whalen.
Maddie. I'm due to screw up something in one broadcast. That's only my first one, right?
You got the last name right.
It's my first one.
That's very early in the broadcast.
I have one more remaining, right?
I would say half, only because you had the last names correct.
Hey, last time I screwed up the Kane sisters, so this time it's the Whalen's turn. So
that's right.
Everybody needs their shot, right?
That's why we can't have nice things. 2-1 to Kaylee Whalen, not to be confused with Maddie Whalen.
Looks like they're making Schlichter work for her pitches.
Surprised how deep center field is playing right now. Whalen cuts through strike 2. You look at Ponto in center field, maybe about 15 feet from the fence. I'm surprised with the wind blowing in.
Yeah, anything that gets us, it's going to be tough to drive one out today.
Whalen, healthy cut there. Fouls it off behind the screen, out of play.
Got that pitch up a little higher to belt high and a little in. A lot of her pitches have been to the outer part of the plate, but that's one of the few she's gotten in over the plate.
And a called third strike, second strikeout of the game. Both of them looking for Schlechter for the second out of the inning, and she is dealing here early on.
Yeah, and that's one, again, she got the ball out over the plate on the previous 2 pitches. Then right there, went with her bread and butter. That pitch, it's probably a few inches off the plate, but if you're getting that call, you're going to keep pounding it.
Trish Quinn, the pitcher, up. Now for Sterling, the righty steps in. And it's counted even at 1-1.
I mean, if you look at this play, it looks like, her objective is to just get it right outside that batter's box.
Quinn fouls it off at the backstop.
Well,
1-2.
This is where I'm sure the hitters are communicating to the other hitters, hey, you've got to protect the outer part of the plate. If there's 2 strikes, which in a lot of cases might be a ball off the plate, it's a strike today.
1-2 for Schlechter to Quinn. Opposing pitcher looks at ball 2. A couple pitches to burn here for Schlechter.
And that's where, if you're a hitter, you might want to move in, crowd the plate a little bit, and that's where the chess game comes in. As a pitcher, that's when I might want to go inside to kind of back somebody off the plate, hide inside. But Schlechter right there gets the strikeout and really getting into a rhythm here.
No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. 3 up, 3 down for Schlechter and the West Deptford Eagles.
Top teams in the conference, no question about it. Something you kind of look forward to and anticipate each year.
It's going to bring up Kenzie Ponto, the shortstop. Grounded out to third, her first at bat in the first inning. Ball 1 to her.
Just bounced off the ground and bumped Ashley right into the mask.
Guys, I just have to step aside real quick. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
We're counting. You're on a timer now.
Other son knows he's got his left and has to leave.
In there for a called strike. 1-1 the count to Kenzie Ponto. Bunted foul, little slap bunt. Ochenegro picks it up well out of foul territory.
I think that was the, hardest forced or most weirdest way I've ever seen a bunt, because I've never seen them, take a tap swing at it. They usually bring their arm up to the other end.
1-2 to Ponto, and a delivery from Quinn. Again, same result. Fouled out of play. I think they call that a slash bunt.
Look at this replay. It looks like she's very determined to get her bunt in.
Quinn just misses on that one. Evens count at 2-2. Jess Lindquist and her nearly 700 average waits on deck. She had a double back in the first. Now the count is full to Ponto.
This must be hard for Trish Quinn as a pitcher to, expect that she's bunting, so you don't know exactly where to place the ball.
Swung on and hit in the air to center field. Giving chase and making the catch is Kriebel. Had to get on her horse. I thought that was going to fall in there for a second, but it did not. So it is 1 down here, top of the third. Sterling trailing this one 2-0. Jess Lindquist, the first baseman, hit that double. And she looks at called first strike. 682 average. That's unreal.
It's such a big number.
It's one high in the air to left field and falls into no man's land. Whalen picks it up, but it's back to back. I call that a double, but
I mean,
we'll go to Mr. K for the official scoring on that one.
If you look at the replay, she just missed the ball. She started taking off. She knew where the ball was going. It was just all about the time.
Well, scored a double, so back-to-back doubles for Lindquist, and that brings up Alexa Anderson. It hits one in the air a mile into right field. Kalzaneski camps underneath and makes the catch as Lindquist moves up to third. I thought, if that wind's dead or if it's blowing out, that ball was hit a ton. That was gone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have been a homer. It must be hard for the softball players, batting to not be able to have that full.
And they appeal at
swing.
They appeal at second base. They thought that Lindquist may have left early, and they appeal to the umpire, the infield umpire, and he says she did not leave early. So runner on third base, and Sarah Gerard, who scored West Deptford's first run on the error by Nagel, steps in.
I mean, if you look at Trish Quinn's pitches, they're mainly right down the middle. Unless they make her work for it, then she has to switch it up.
1-1 to Gerard. It's number 19 on channel 19. A lot of number similarities. Gerard hits one in the air to left field, and making the catch to end the inning is Whalen. So Sterling keeps it a 2-0 game, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We're going to move to the bottom half of the third, still 2-0.
Change, being down 2-0, change their approach and their game plan. And that's the thing I think you have to stay consistent with. Get your bat on the ball.
Kriebel bunts one. It's foul off the foot of Kriebel, and so it's off her face, excuse me.
So does that automatically count as
a dead ball?
Okay.
Yeah, dead ball.
Just wanted to clarify on that.
Kriebel fouls it off the backstop, so no more bunting situation here for Kriebel. And an 0-2 count. It's going to be Kriebel in the 9 spot, and then back to the top of the order with Hannah Ochenegro and then Edmonds. Comes the 0-2. Down to Kriebel. And she swings through it. Strikeout number 4 on the afternoon for Schlechter, and there's one down here in the bottom of the third.
Well, you could be sure that if you've got 2 strikes on you, especially 0-2, she's going to go to the outside part of the plate, and that's what she did right there.
Quickly 0-1 after the fouled off pitch to Hannah Ochenegro. Grounded out to third, her only plate appearance in the first. The 0-1 delivery. In there for a called strike. Sterling having a tough time figuring out Schlechter here in the first third of this game so far. Just below the knees.
You look at Schlechter, not a whole lot of move. I mean, she's got a little bit of a hop, but a very efficient motion and gets everything behind that pitch.
Nice cut by Hannah Ochenegro to stay alive at 1-2.
Ball really hops out of her hand in a hurry. And I think the hitters are having a tough time picking it up, because when you see the foul balls that you're seeing from Sterling, they're foul balls that you see from hitters swinging a little bit late and when they're behind the pitch.
The 1-2. Again fouled off.
And doing a good job mixing up her pitches. Looked like she took a little bit off of that one.
Looks like Ochenegro is making her work.
Keeping the hitters off bounce here.
Must be an Ochenegro thing, because her sister Gabby did this and then got Sterling's only hit.
Well, Ochenegro is definitely one you don't want to get the ball to the inner part of the plate, middle in, because she'll make you pay for it.
And now she works a full count with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Sterling trailing this one 2-0. Swung on, hitting the ground. The shortstop bobbled by the shortstop, McGivern. And Ochenegro is aboard on the error.
Going back to what you said, Strauss, must be an Ochenegro thing.
Yeah, I mean, Gab did the exact same thing in the cleanup spot in the first inning. Was able to get aboard, but Sterling stranded her. He's going to bring up Marissa Edmonds, the first baseman. Hit on the ground to third base, picked up, and she is safe at first on the fielder's choice. So that's going to be a hit for Marissa Edmonds.
You talk about base running being an integral part of softball. What a job by Hannah Ochenegro, getting that quick break and enabling herself to get into second safely. and enabled Sterling to put some pressure on Schlechter right here.
1 out, 2 on here for Sterling. Aledo fouls off the first pitch out of play. Huge situation here for Sterling to try this game up.
I think they're finally starting to decipher exactly, her pitching, because I've been seeing a lot of foul balls being hit in the past few batters. So all they got to do is straighten them out, and I think we'll be in good.
Halfway there, straightening out down the first baseline foul. 0-2.
Mixing things up to Aledo. Went to the inner part of the plate for the previous pitch, then went to the outside part of the plate. And look to her to continue with that rhythm of having 2 strikes on the hitters and going to the outside part of the plate. I'm sure the catcher will set up out there.
A called third strike. Aledo, back-to-back strikeouts for Aledo. That's a huge out for Schlechter and the Eagles.
And there she goes, hitting that area about 6 inches off the plate. Low and outside. Didn't even, there were times where she kept it up and outside. That one was down around the knees.
Looks like she almost got hit on that last pitch.
1-0 to Gabby Ochenegro. Has Sterling's only, the first hit of the game. Second one came off the bat of Edmonds. Again low. 2-0.
Good aggressive move by Coach Talent with the double steal. Hey, if you have 2 outs, that's where you have to take chances. I like that move.
Second and third, 2 outs here to Ochenegro, the cleanup hitter. Chance to tie the game for Sterling if she can get a base hit here. Low again, 3-0.
Schlechter taking some time, stepping off, doing whatever she needs to do to recompose herself.
Taking all the way. And
absolutely.
I wonder if this was a kind of situation here for Schlechter and the Eagles to kind of pitch around Gab Ochenegro here and load him up for Marissa Nagel. But still, Marissa Nagel, not the kind of person you want to pitch to either.
I don't think that's the case, because you've got 2 outs. You can get the out at first, and you don't want to see Marissa Nagel up there with the bases loaded.
Nagel loops one right at the second baseman. Anderson squeezes it for the third out. And West Deptford able to get out of a huge jam here in the bottom of the third. For the Eagles, leading this one 2-0 here in the top of the fourth.
Trish Quinn trying to set up.
First pitch swung on and hit in the air, right at Nagel. Easy out there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
If you look at this, it looks like it's just a lob, and it was such an easy out. She was just already there, so she didn't really have to do much moving.
Well, good start to every inning, getting the leadoff hitter out, because that's the recipe for disaster. Getting that leadoff hitter on, and a lot of times it opens the way for big innings.
Easy for us to say. When we say easy out, it's easy for us to broadcast it. I don't know if it's easy for me to do it out there. This is why I sit behind the broadcast table, not on the field. You ever want to see something really entertaining? Switch the roles. Put these softball players behind here and let us go out there. And I know Mr. K would be okay. I'm sure
better
Susie,
for
you'd be
them
okay.
than it would be for us. No.
I'd be a nightmare out there.
I think we shouldn't ruin the reputation of the softball team.
We're beyond that at this point in our lives.
2-1. Swung on and missed by Patch. 2-2.
Nice job by Trish Quinn right there, taking a little bit off.
Just switching it just enough so to make it seem like she could really hit the ball.
Full count now to Patch, the designated player. Scored West Deptford's second run. Reached on a fielder's choice. So a 3-2 pitch from Quinn. Swung on, hitting the ground. In the hole into right field. Kozaneski scoops it up, almost guns out Patch at first base, but it's going to be a base hit for Patch with 1 out.
Good job by Kozaneski coming up there, because this infield is very hard, and balls are getting to the infielders very quickly. So in that situation, they're going to get to the outfielders quickly, and you could have that opportunity where a ball hit the right field, could result in an out at first base.
I mean, if you look at that last replay, her speed was phenomenal. I guess the outfielders are there for that purpose also, not just to also catch the outfield balls.
have to wonder if Emily Kozaneski was playing a couple steps in. She might have gotten her.
Yeah.
Swung on and missed. 0-2 quickly to Gallagher, the catcher. Reached on a fielder's choice as an RBI. Stranded at third back in that 2-run second. Top of the fourth, 2-0 West Deptford. As Gallagher hits one in the air out of play. Watch out, tech crew on the roof. A couple of the seniors on this team heading out to Florida tomorrow morning on the senior trip. Hopefully they're trying to get on that plane tomorrow morning with a win behind their belt. Yeah. That'd be nice.
They wouldn't only be celebrating one thing by then.
Swung on, hit in the air right at Hannah Ochenegro. She squeezes it for the out. Second out of the inning. And now it's the 9-hole hitter, Kim Alexander, the left fielder.
If you look at that, it looks like another lob, and it's, you know, the lobs are easier to catch. I probably wouldn't be able to catch any ball.
Get you out there in the practice field with Coach Johnson. Right at Gab Ochenegro for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. And we'll move to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0 West Deptford.
Hitters now are going to try to get a little closer to the plate. We've had a number of them, whether it's swinging or looking, getting that outside pitch with 2 strikes and even 1 strike, an area that Schlecter's really hit. And as a hitter, you definitely want to try to adjust and put yourself in position to get to that pitch.
Croach hits the first pitch, foul off the backstop, out of play.
Ashley Croge, you know, we talk about Marissa Nagel having an outstanding career. Ashley Croge in her own right, I believe, has been a starter since her sophomore year. And really has just been a great all-around player and obviously a catcher. Is one of the more important positions in softball and baseball.
0-2 to Croach. Sterling needs some base runners here. And looks at ball 1 high and outside. So 1-2. Pitch from Schlechter on the way. Swung on, hit foul. Well, that would have been gone if she straightens that one out. She got all of that pitch, just a little ahead of it.
And you talk about girls who can drive the ball for Sterling, and Ashley Croce is at the top of that list, or right up there. Just obviously got a little too far out in front of it. And that's a pitch where Schlechter, you know, she's got her fastball. I think she's got a pure changeup, but she's got another pitch that's close to the fastball that just gets you a little bit out in front.
Croce to the shortstop. Nice gun there by McGivern. 6-3 on the putout, but story on that one. Croce hit it well. McGivern was equal to the task.
Well, I think the key there, Rob, was when you talk about McGivern, the catch and the quick release. You don't have much time at all, and the fact that you're going to your left, this isn't one that's where you're going to your right, you're throwing side.
Popped into the air, and Schlechter camps underneath it, makes the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Or it's 1 pitch, 1 out, and for the second out, rather.
But that previous play by McGivern, I mean, that's tough. You're going to your left, you get the ball, you've got to set your feet in a hurry and release it, and she just did an outstanding job of getting that first out right there.
Brings Trish Quinn coming into this game as a 4-1 pitcher, Trish Quinn. Pitcher versus pitcher here. Schlechter gets Quinn. Quinn fouls one off, 1-1. Look at the numbers for Paige Schlechter. We talked about this earlier from a pitching standpoint. 14 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, and a perfect 3-0 record. She's only given up 2 hits and 1 walk on the season. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, the hop with her, real big push and a hop off the mound, but just gets everything behind any pitch she throws.
Quinn trying to help her own cause, hits the 2-1 pitch into center field for a hit with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Sterling's left 5 runners on base. They left them loaded just an inning ago.
And that's a case of just hitting the ball where it's pitched. And I think when you have a team that's had success hitting, sometimes you want to drive the ball, sometimes you try to pull a pitch that's on the outer part of the plate, but Quinn just did a nice job of hitting the ball where it was pitched.
Eleanor Kriebel, the center fielder, struck out her only plate appearance in the 3rd. Runner on first. Kriebel looks at ball 1. Should she get aboard? Hannah Ochenegro back at the top of the lineup for Sterling. One and one.
Yeah, of all the pitches in the outer part, that one got a little bit of plate. That was probably a little bit more hittable. Some of those pitches roughly in that area.
2-1 to Kriebel with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Trish Quinn on first base. Kriebel swings late through that pitch. 2-2.
And I think that's a case where you're going outside, outside, outside. This was one of a few times where she kind of mixed it up, went inside, and you had to swing and miss, but it would have been on the handle.
Kriebel back to Schlechter, to Lindquist for the final out of the 4th. No runs, no hits, 1 hit, excuse me. No errors and 1 left on. We're going to move to the top of the 5th. Still 2-0 West Deptford.
But you're looking at Schlechter as a pitcher.
Easily in it, but they're going to, runs are tough to come by here. So it's McGivern, top of the lineup for West Deptford.
And there really isn't much of a difference between both performances. West Deptford just had that 1 inning where they used small ball, a couple overthrows, and a few advanced bases.
McGivern on the ground to Hannah Ochenegro. Nice pickup off the bounce. It's a hometown bounce. She knows the infield really well here, obviously. 4-3 on the putout. 3 straight ground out to first for McGivern. Or excuse me, to second, rather.
Here we go, Kenzie. Need you on. Let's go, babe.
Kenzie Ponto, the center fielder. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. A slap bunt towards Gab Ochenegro. Fires over to first for the out. Nice scoop and throw by Gab Ochenegro.
Wow.
Oh, such a close call, and that must be hard for the umps to make, game decisions like this.
That's Sports Center quality, though, by Gab Ochenegro.
I mean, that's a field. You don't even have time to set your feet. That was just a scoop and throw.
Yep.
And what a job by Gab Ochenegro at 3rd making that play.
Taking another look at it here. Look at her charge, and all in one motion.
It's like a grab and go.
and not to be outdone, the nice scoop there by Edmonds. As Nagel ends the inning on the pop-out. Real quick inning for Trish Quinn. She might have thrown 5 pitches in that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Sterling needs to answer here in the bottom of the 5th.
I feel like it looks like she's getting more aggressive, so, I'm not letting any more runs go by me, so she's going to kick up her game. Like
what just happened in front of you? You had the slap bunt where that hitter has got a couple extra steps towards 3rd base. If that's a right-handed hitter bunting that, you have that chance to set your feet and throw. But with that slap bunt from the left side, you have no chance. And that was just an outstanding play by Ochenegro.
Her sister Hannah Ochenegro steps in with her .289 average. Trying to lead off. Sterling rallies Sterling here. They're trailing by a couple. The top of the 5th, back to the top of the lineup. Need base runners. They left them loaded back in the 3rd. When it looked like Sterling was going to at least put 1 across the board. They have 6 outs left. A little slap bunt, trying to get aboard. And a nice play by West Deptford to get the leadoff hitter in Ochenegro out at first base. Nice cover there by the second baseman, Anderson.
This is a big inning for Schlechter, getting this top of the order out late in this game.
Marisha Edmonds up to bat.
Edmonds hits one foul down the 3rd baseline. Giving chase on that one was Alexander, but that was about 10 feet foul. Edmonds hitting .625. Not a lot of plate appearances. She has missed the last, check that, that's Edmonds, not Nagel. So .625 average is legit.
And I think you're seeing the hitters coming up, getting closer to the plate. We talked about the chess game that's happening here. Now you're looking at Schlechter, where she was going more consistently the outside part of the plate. Now she's mixing it up, inside, then outside.
On a hop to Gerard, fires over the first for the out. 5-3 on the putout. And it's going to bring up Emily Oleto as a pair of strikeouts to her credit this afternoon. Right at Gerard again, drops it momentarily, fires over to first, scoops it. Lindquist picks it up. Nice defense by the Eagles. And Sterling goes down in order here in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, one of the harder hit balls today. You see Oleto, girl with a very quick bat, turned on that one. Really hit a bullet. And again, you have the harder hit balls. You can knock it down, you have time to recover, set the feet, and throw.
So for West Deptford, it's a 4, 5, 6 hitters in Anderson, Gerard, and Engels to try and pad this West Deptford lead at 2.
And then Donovan Casey, what he was able to do the previous year in shutting down West Deptford.
Brings up Alexa Anderson, the second baseman. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Grounded out to short and also flew out to right field. Just 3 hits on the afternoon for West Deptford. Hit right through the legs of Trish Quinn into center field for a base hit. So the leadoff runner is leadoff batter, excuse me, is aboard. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Brings up Sierra Gerard, the third baseman. Reached on an error and scored West Deptford's first run. And there for a called strike. Keep an eye on Anderson at first base. Look how much taller Anderson is than Marissa Edmonds. The bunt, beautiful bunt. And they are not able to get Gerard. The speedy Gerard reaches on the infield single.
And that's what West Deptford has been better at than Sterling today, laying down the bunts where, again, it's dead off the bat, doesn't get out to the fielders, and that's why they've got first and second right here and have been able to put pressure on Quinn.
Strikeout would be huge here for Trish Quinn and the Lady Knights. Another bunt, and it's another infield hit. It was towing the line down the first baseline, so 3 straight hits, 2 of which coming on infield bunts.
Well, we're looking at small ball 101, and it was one of the reasons why they were able to get a couple runs plated earlier in the game, and it looks like right now they're going to put themselves in the same situation here. And of course, the infielders forced to come up, and at this point, you've got to go home.
It's starting to look like they figured out, Trish Quinn's pitching, pattern, and they're trying to get the girls on base without getting striked out. And I think Button's actually definitely working.
And a patch designated player. Up at bat now, 0-1. Just outside, 1-1.
Anytime you force that catcher to come out from behind the plate to make that play, you're giving yourself a shot. And they've done that on successive tries right here.
Have to wonder here, Kevin, if West Deptford puts any more across the board, it's going to be real tough for Sterling to come back the way that Schlecter's been pitching.
Yeah, right. I mean, we talked about that earlier. Runs are definitely hard to come by.
2-2 to Patch, the designated player. Allison Gallagher waits on deck. The 2-2. Foul back out of play.
Looks like Anderson's definitely trying to get that head start on third base. Trish Quinn's getting ready.
Strikeout would be huge here. Hit on the ground back at Quinn. She goes to home for one. And they try and get the runner at first. They cannot, so it's a fielder's choice.
Well, that's the next best thing to a strikeout, or really pretty much the same thing.
Let's look at Trish Quinn. Her main objective is, you know, I don't care. First base, she can make it to first base as long as I stop the girl going home.
Allison Gallagher steps in now, has an RBI to her credit today. Chance to add to that total. Called first strike. Strikeout here, Kevin, would be absolutely huge for the Lady Knights if they want to have any shot of coming back here in the home half of the sixth. The 0-1. Bunted right up the middle. Ochenegro scoops it over. And to play at the plate, I believe they got her. And no call. I'm looking at the umpire. I didn't see a call.
Yeah. Let's get an instant replay here. Yeah, there's a call.
Yeah, okay. I missed, yep.
Tough for us to see. We're kind of blocked here.
Just an incredible job by Ashley Croge, you know, standing her guard, ready for the ball, and just, you know, looking for that out.
Another great play by Gabby Ochenegro. You kind of just had to backhand that throw, do what you need to do to get it there. They're going to get the third out. Wow.
Quinn over to first. And that'll do it for the top of the sixth. This is a force out here. And again, when we're sitting, we can't really see if she had her foot on the plate. And the umpire made the call right away. I was looking at Ashley Croge and not the umpire for that split second. So it is a force out. That was right on the chalk too. A nice flip by Gab Ochenegro, who's had two outstanding plays defensively for Sterling to keep them in this. Again, two highlight reel material. Watch Gab Ochenegro here, guys. Scoop and flip to get the out.
She's been really good.
Sterling comes back in this one and winds up winning this game. You got to circle that play for sure.
You know, getting that ball for a split second, knowing what to do. Got to be a few steps ahead.
And the aforementioned Gab Ochenegro is going to lead off for Sterling. She's 1 for 1 with a walk. First pitch. Therefore called strike.
Getting back to that play, you know, there's certain things you do that are the way you do it. It's out of the textbook way of doing things, but Gabby Ochenegro is a very instinctive player.
Ochenegro hits one foul down the third base line, able to make the catch. The bucket catch is Gerard. That's a big out on the leadoff batter in Gab Ochenegro. Marissa Nagel 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Looks at strike one. It's the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Nagel hits one into left field, backing up and making the catch. On the run is Alexander. She moved forward momentarily and then backtracked and made the catch, and she's got a smile on her face.
Well, that was a case of the wind definitely beating that one down, because she got it up there, and yeah, that could have been over her head, but the wind kind of deadened that. But in any way, that's any event, that's a nice play there by the left fielder.
Croge fouls one down the third baseline, almost into the West Deptford dugout. So Sterling down there to a final out.
It's like Strauss was saying earlier, you know, if the wind was actually dead, or, you know, a little bit less, then I think that the batters hitting such good hits wouldn't have such a problem.
Croge hits one into the air, into right center field, and making the catch to end the game is Engels, and that will do it.
Hey, let's go.
For
you weren't listening to me.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I guess this inning's going to have to be a go big or go home kind of situation, knowing that they're down by 2. And
of course, McGivern had that real nice play at short. You know, we talked a lot about Gabby Ochenegro and a couple of nice plays she's had, but McGivern had that key play at short when Sterling was threatening a little bit with a couple runners on, getting the ball, firing it over to first.
0-1 to McGivern. Hit on the ground, right at Hannah Ochenegro. Fires over to Edmonds for the out.
Must be a tough situation for Trish Quinn right now, knowing it's the top of the 7th, and you know it's all about where she puts that ball. So I think the pitchers must take a lot of, you know, peer pressure and just feel pressured to actually do right. But she has done an amazing job this game so far.
She has, and you know, don't take for granted that play by Hannah Ochenegro. On a hard hit ball, I don't think people realize how difficult it is when that's redirected like that, but she just made that look easy.
Slap bunt back at Gab Ochenegro. Can't make the highlight reel play. They might get her at second, and they will not. Hannah Ochenegro pulled off that second base bag.
Almost had her at second. That's a real nice job by Kozaneski going over there, backing it up, and getting a throw there to second, and came within about a half a foot of getting the tag and getting the out.
We'll go to Mr. K on the official scoring on that one. And that error may prove costly as it goes through the legs of Whalen. Ponto's going to score easily. And it's another insurance run for West Deptford, 3-0.
If you look at this replay, I feel like she had her eye on the ball the whole time, and she was just waiting for that right crack.
Just got handcuffed a little bit.
So a hit and an error.
One thing you're seeing from both teams is, we talked about Sterling starting to drive the ball a little bit more. You're seeing that from West Deptford. I mean, that first ball that was hit hard right back to Quinn, went off her glove, and Ochenegro got the out.
Hit in the air to center field. Camping underneath it is Kriebel, coming in and making the catch right at the edge of the outfield grass for the second out. Ponto still sits on second base.
Both teams, again, hitting balls to the outfield a little bit more now than they had in the earlier part of the game.
Brings up Sierra Gerard, the third baseman. Gerard reached on an error, scored the first run for the Eagles, and singled in the last inning. She hits it right at Nagel. Nagel can't handle it. It's the third error of the inning for Sterling. Now they have runners on the corner with 2 outs.
She fumbled the ball. It looks like Coach Johnson's coming out.
Time. Go ahead now, Coach.
Looks like Coach Johnson's going to do a mound visit, have a talk with the team.
She wants to have a chat with the umpire here.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to argue some type of interference.
Let's see if we can get another look at the replay here. Now, if the runner interferes with the fielder making a play, Julesy, what could she be arguing here?
Not quite sure, especially since the fielder was in front of the runner. But you could always try at this point. That's one where you want to try to support your kids out on the field.
How much of that do you think is just maybe the infield met at the mound and they're trying to get themselves together after 3 straight errors? Gerard moves up to second base on the stolen base. Obviously no throw by Croge there. Emily Engels, the right fielder, is at bat for the Eagles. Hits one into right field for a base hit. They're going to hold Gerard at third, and it's a 4-0 game.
I tell you,
RBI single for Ingles.
It looks like they're finding the holes in the field to see exactly where they can place the ball just to get, extra runs. And I think that's what it's also all about. You got to find that open space.
No, that wasn't the hardest hit ball today, but you nailed it, man. You hit the right spot.
Runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 4-0 West Deptford. They got a pair in the 2nd and a pair here in the 7th. None of these are going to be earned on, or at least the last 2, I don't think are going to be earned on Trish Quinn.
0-2.
I don't think the first 2 were earned either. We'll check that in between innings. The 0-2. Hit the air to right field, right at Kozaneski. She squeezes it for the final out. Sterling has their work cut out for them as they head to the home half of the 7th, trailing 4-0.
Yeah, those extra 2 runs definitely make it difficult in light of what Schlecter's been able to do today. But like we said, if there's ever a team who could come back, it's this Sterling team. It's got a lot of pop in their lineup, and a team that are in the communications program there, Morgan Litzis, and kids who really did a great job here and then carried it on to the next level.
Last chance for Sterling, officially this time.
This is
the
the real
this
last
time.
chance.
Just like the real,
you were just
last
practicing
chance.
the last time.
Yeah.
You wanted to give Manny a dry run through a last inning.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give Mr. K a head start down to you guys down to West Deptford. I'm trying.
He wanted to end it soon. It's Kaylee Whalen batting.
Whalen, leadoff base hit. That's going to be extra bases for Whalen. Up against the fence is Alexander, and it's a leadoff stand-up double for Kaylee Whalen.
Yeah, good way to start this inning. Just turned on that one. Line drive to left field.
It's like what we were saying, you're going to have to go big or go home, especially because this is, the bottom of the 7th, which is the last inning. It's all or nothing, and I think that Kaylee Whalen with that hit definitely motivated the team and herself.
Definitely the best hit of the day for Sterling. That's only their 4th hit. Bailey Adolph is going to come in and hit for Trish Quinn. First pitch to Adolph. In there for a called strike.
And this is a tough position for Adolph to be in. We talk about Schlechter and the different things she does. Coming in off the bench, seeing her for the first time.
Must be really challenging.
Adolph swings through strike 2.
This is where you have to think she's going to attack that outside part of the plate.
Adolph.
That's right where she goes.
Goes down swinging for the first out here in the 7th. He's going to bring up Elena Kriebel, the center fielder, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Looking back to, unofficially, Trish Quinn's numbers on the mound. I believe only one of the 4 is going to be earned as Kriebel fouls one out of play.
Tech crew.
Unofficially, of course. I've been wrong several times this afternoon. This may be another one. But Sterling,
opening softball.
I will tell you this, 4 errors on the afternoon for Sterling. Kriebel swings through. Strike 2 is Whalen thinking about trying to take 3rd base there. Hannah Ochenegro getting ready in the on-deck circle. The 0-2. Just outside, 1-2.
I think it's real positive for themselves and their teams. We're down by 4, but we're still going to play like we're tied.
Sure.
That's a good way to go about it.
The 1-2 from Schlechter. Swung on foul, back out of play.
Just chasing that ball.
One ball, 2 strikes.
That's that high fastball that we've seen from Schlechter on the outside part of the plate a lot today.
Hit in the air. This could drop in for a base hit. Did she drop it? They're going to call it out. 2 players, a shortstop and the second baseman converged on that for the play. And Coach Johnson going to come out and now there's going to be a meeting at the. This is an interesting call here because that was drifting into no man's land.
Well, this is one of those calls where the home plate ump was further away, but at the same time might have had a better angle.
It looks like, I was going to say, it looks like when she hit the ground, she might have dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's with the base ump had his back, or it was looking at the back of the fielder and to shield it.
That's definitely a drop, and they've missed this one. And Coach Johnson is incensed, and Coach Talent going to come out now. She is fired up, as well she should be. She's going to be even more fired up when she sees the replay.
Not to mention she's carrying one of her own. That just, that must make her more angry. Because as we saw the replay, like you said, it definitely rolled out of her hands and touched the ground.
Let's make sure that we don't show this replay to Coach Johnson, although that's going to be the first thing that she's going to want to see at the conclusion of this game. We can't go to the TV truck for the replay, and I believe that Coach Johnson did not bring her challenge flag out today.
I got to tell you, she's such a good coach, fighting for her team and wanting to see exactly, what happened. She approached very aggressively and wanted to get her point across.
Good heads-up play there by Kaylee Whale and getting to third base. Throwing down to their last strike here.
In the air, foul, out of play against the administration building. And Coach Johnson is incensed right now. Knowing her as long as we've known her, Kevin, she's fired up and she's doing a good job of composing herself in front of her own team. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit to the ground at second base. Anderson sends it over to Lindquist for the final out of the game. West Deptford shuts out Sterling. And this game, it comes, I don't want to say it came down to that call at second base by the infield umpire, but that was definitely a contributor there.
It could have, led to a bigger inning, but I think, this was a game where West Deptford pulled away and deserved the win. I think with what they were able to do in the field, making plays, their ability to execute the small ball game to get those first couple runs, and of course you got a couple runs on ours in the previous inning. And
taking a look at it here, guys, as ball falls out, and you can clearly see it on the ground there, and she reaches back with her right hand and scoops it. I mean, that's easy for us to say with the ability to have replay, but
the reason you had the question was because you saw the quick scoop back right there. But again, this was a game you have to feel like West Deptford.